My name is William Ulrich, and I'm creator of Dance for Charity, a business plan for good. There's a lot of people in the world that want to make the world a better place. The problem is, most people don't know how to do it. Our organization has one goal, to show people how they could do good in the world. And this film is the start. The film that you're about to watch shows a team of women that are 55 and older that have figured out how they could do good in the world. Their cause is to provide service dogs for disabled veterans. The Calendar Girls inspired me to make this film, and I hope this film inspires you. After you're done watching the film, I have another statement that I'd like to have you watch.
We came together in 2006, and we've had so much fun together, sweating, dancing, entertaining Southwest Florida. But there's a little bit more to us than just that. We didn't know quite where all this was going, but once we got started, you know how you start something and it's kind of hard to say, all right, we're out of here. So we just kept going with them.
The most publicity we've received was when our documentary was submitted to the Sundance Film Festival.
And it was accepted at the Sundance Film Festival.
Who knew? I mean, this is just terrific.
We're your girls from Southwest Florida, and here we are on big screens all over the world.
What are you doing? You know about the Calendar Girls? Oh, you want an interview? Yes, of course.
Plus, we're doing shorts. We're going to be on PBS. We've applied for Oprah. We even sent a video to Simon on America's Got Talent.
We are silly, we have fun, and we have a mission. And that mission is very, very important to us.
How can dance teams find new dancers?
The way that we originally started, way back when, was there was an ad in the paper, a call. Are you interested in dancing? Do you want to dance for free? Come on over, and then audition. And that's the way it works. So I saw an ad in a newspaper advertising a dance group for Southwest Florida, and their mission was to sponsor guide dogs. And I thought, what a wonderful thing to do. I love to dance. I grew up dancing.
My friend called and she asked me if I can come to Calendar Girl. And I come, we have special competition. And I pass this competition and they take me for this team.
When you're just starting out and you're looking for dancers, depending on your community, you could just put it online, an event, starting a dance team, all interested people come to the park at 8 a.m. on Monday.
And when we talk to people, we always say, hey, are you interested? You might see somebody really interesting at a party and you click with them and say, hey, have you ever thought about dancing? And they look at you cross-eyed, and you describe what you're doing and they say, well, here, can you do a little jazz step? Hey, you might work. Why don't you come and watch us at a practice and see if it's something that you might be interested in.
When we dance and perform at all different venues, we always try to perhaps recruit new girls. We're always looking for a couple of new girls to add to the team.
So somehow, usually through social media, you have to present the idea that here's something new, you're going to have fun. You really don't have to be a great dancer. You just have to want to come out and try.
Wherever you're at, look in your sphere of influence and then go, and then go outside. And then as you start doing performances, there's people in the audience that are going to come up and they're going to say, hey, that's kind of cool.
Once you get that initial, 10 women, they all have friends. They all have other hobbies and churches. And then the word just spreads.
Right now, I'd say we have about 30, 35 people. People come and go, but mostly they stay.
It's a lot of commitment. Our audiences see the final product, They see the costumes, they see the well-honed performances. They don't see the hours and hours and hours of the missteps and trying to get the makeup right and putting on costume pieces that just aren't gonna work, you know. So they just see the fun part of it, the glamour of it all, you know. So we want them to come to practice and see the commitment that we have to practicing regularly, to practicing at home. Because it's not just about dancing in a group. You've got to know your routines. You've got to know your steps, and then you have to know about the charity. You have to be able to articulate your charity before you do that. So we want to make sure that they buy into that.
But initially, I feel social media, create an event, make it sound like something so much fun and not intimidating, because many people are calendar girls who never danced, but they come and they learn and they have fun. And we try to make it simple enough that anyone can learn it, but hard enough that it's interesting.
Remember, when you're passionate about your dance team, others will be drawn to your enthusiasm. Where should dance teams look to perform first?
So when you get started, it's a real challenge to find places to perform.
Be prepared to give your performances away. Don't be looking for money right away. You've got to build up the street cred. And the way that we did it was we went to the assisted living and nursing homes first.
It's very easy to go into any elder care facility. So care facilities are very welcoming at first. They don't have a huge budget to give you a donation, but it's a place to start, and it's an audience that really needs you. They need for gals to come out, or men, and do a show, whether it's dancing or singing or comedy. Care facilities, perfect place to start.
And the senior homes, when you're seeing their faces, and when they hear the music, it just brings back memories of when they were younger, when they heard that song, and we're all out there dancing and smiling and putting smiles on their face.
You make a list, pick up the phone, make the phone calls, maybe get into a cute little costume, go in twos always, and go and knock on the doors. Talk to the activity directors, see what's going on out there. Look in the papers and look at all the different little things that are happening, all the little local events that are happening. Contact those people, the Parks and Recs guys, and then see if you can get into those kinds of things.
We also do private parties, parades, any event. A lot of the girls live at 55 and over gated communities. We dance there, we entertain in that realm as well.
When we first advertised, my phone didn't stop ringing for care facilities because they're everywhere and they have no one come there. So that's where we started. And as the weeks went by, we started getting biker groups and country clubs and churches and festivals. But really an easy place where everyone wants you is a care facility. Our world loves babies. They need to love elderly people as much and care for them as much. So that's my advice. Start out with nursing homes. You will be loved and your reputation will spread right from there.
You need to create a little giveaway, something to leave behind. So whether it's a postcard or a photo, that's what makes you special. Number one is your visual. So you've got to have something that's got some brightness and color and then some information about who you are.
If you just keep working and working, good things will come back to you.
Groups of all ages are welcome to perform at senior care living facilities.
Well, there are many achievements with the Calendar Girls in the last 18 years. I feel the fact that we found each other and stayed together as a group of senior women is an achievement. People have passed through and come and gone, but the fact that we are 30 proud women from 2006 to 2023 is a great achievement. The fact that we were invited to audition for America's Got Talent is a great achievement.
America's Got Talent called us. and said, hey, come and try out. We made it as far as the cutting room floor, but it gave us a little taste of a broader sense of success.
Sponsoring 30 magnificent Southeastern guide dogs for veterans is another achievement.
I believe that what I am doing is physical, emotional, and it makes me become a better person.
When we enter dance competitions, we work so hard that we often earn first or second place, and we're competing against 16-year-olds, so I think that's kind of fun. I think as women at this point in our lives, it's an achievement to wake up each day and have this being a calendar girl to look forward to, because we go out into the community, we make people happy, we have fun, we're wearing great costumes. So I feel as a senior dancer, that's a great achievement.
When you first started with the Calendar Girls, did you have any idea that you would end up getting worldwide attention?
Oh my God, I mean, that's just like whipped cream on top of everything. When I joined it, it was really, a little bit was self-serving because I wanted to get out of this funk and I wanted to feel like I was still alive, vital, still feel like I'm sexy and I can contribute to the world and to the community at large. So we thought, no, we'll stay local, you know. And
this is how I feel about being world famous as a calendar girl and as the leader of the Calendar Girls. We started off in little old Fort Myers, Florida, and because of our hard work, we achieved recognition from countries all over the world. There are dance teams everywhere, and we were selected to make a documentary with a Swedish film company that was acclaimed at Sundance Film Festival and film festivals all over the world.
Who ever thought we'd be making all these movies and shorts? We made a 90-minute movie that was in the Sundance Film Festival. Who knew? I mean, this is just terrific.
And when Maria and Luve from Sweden came knocking on our door when we were out there, out in a parking lot, sweating and dancing, they saw a vision of us. And God bless them. I mean, really, to take us and turn us into this internationally known name.
I feel really wonderful that we've achieved fame in our state and in our country and in the world. It's not an overnight accomplishment, though. A lot of hard work, a lot of sweat and tears went into achieving this fame.
So, is it a good idea to start a dance team if there are already dance teams in your local area?
I love the idea of women in particular, in Montana, or women in Dubai, women anywhere, trying to get together as a group, especially senior women, and have this wonderful form of movement, dance, to get together, to serve, to have fun as women.
This was very, very new to Lee County. We were trailblazers, if you will, and now there's over 10 senior dance teams of different types within the county. So we've, so we're kind of like the grandma, if you will. We've helped birth all these different ones, and every dance team has their own flavor, their own style, their own way of sharing, growing bolder. I never say growing older.
No, I love the idea of thinking of places all over the country and all over the world, starting up groups of women who serve and have fun.
There's always room for one more. There's room for everyone. Not everyone likes vanilla ice cream. Not everyone likes chocolate. So they're going to find something that they like better than the other. And surprisingly enough, believe it or not, we all like to support each other. If we've got our dance card full, Catherine might say, well, you could call this dance team or this dance team. They might be able to do what you want. It's not a competition in that way. It's to help build each other up and celebrate together what we can do.
Don't worry if there are other dance teams in your area, because that can actually be a good thing. Talk about leadership roles within the dance team.
You have to have one leader, really, who can put that group together.
As you start out a dance team, you are going to need to find somebody to be in charge. It could be a committee, but invariably there's going to be one person You will find with 30 women, it'll be hard, even with 2 women, it'll be hard to reach consensus on every topic.
You start from that core, and then you start building out from there.
There's so much involved that I do feel like it works out to be a 40 to 60 hour work week, because you do so much on your own, not just when you're with your team, but when you're alone, you're planning and you're contacting people, you're checking to make sure the next day that the people are expecting you. So it's a pretty all-encompassing thing, and it does take up a lot of your personal time.
So there might be 1 or 3 people that have this common vision and this common goal and commitment.
So when you start out, you might look around and find somebody that has the time to be the leader, and has the skill set to be the leader, and has the strength to make decisions. So that could be a hard thing, finding somebody who actually wants all that responsibility. If I could find that person, I'd be glad to just be one of the other dancers. So that is tricky in the beginning, is to find someone who'll give their life, who'll take on a 60-hour week as a volunteer. So that is very tricky in the beginning, is to find one person who will be in charge of it all. But that doesn't mean you can't have somebody in charge of costumes, and somebody in charge of social media, and somebody in charge of choreography.
And then you start looking one by one by one. Don't feel like you have to grow to 15 or 30 people. Get a good 5 or 6 people that get along well and that can do it. Then it will just start growing from there.
So you could split it up, but you really need one person to be in charge of all of that.
Being a team leader comes with rewards, but it also comes with responsibility. How should a team choose what charity to donate to?
When you establish a new dance team, and we did this in 2006, we brainstormed all the possibilities in our world, in our country, in our state, all the places we could do good.
I think that everybody would have to kind of sit together first and start talking about what's important to them. What charities do they like? What do they want to be involved with? We happened to choose a charity that was very tangible. So we have dogs, so they can personally come out and your audiences can meet them.
I love the veterans, I love the dogs, and I thought, what better place for me to be?
If it's something like the American Cancer Society or something where it's not as tangible, that may be a little bit more difficult.
It took us a long time to figure out we wanted to serve veterans. And if we weren't doing that, we might select any type of advocacy for children. We might have selected a life-threatening disease, such as cancer, or diabetes, or kidney issues.
Look locally for a charity and find something that means something to the girls. You've got to be passionate about what you want to do. Some people are really all about children and they want to do something to help the children. So find something that will resonate. And then every day you get up and you go, wow, I can do something.
I personally feel it's great that we have one mission, sponsoring guide dogs for veterans. Everyone in town wants a piece of us. And what we do is, if it's the National Kidney Foundation or Relay for Life, we volunteer our time and perform at those events, or we give them a silent auction item, which is a free performance. But we don't dilute what we're doing for Southeastern Guide Dogs. So I think it's great to keep it to one charity rather than to thin yourself out and promise things you can't deliver.
But when you are holding a puppy in your hand and knowing that this dog is going to help somebody, it's huge.
This is the best therapy that I have, especially when I know that I am helping the veterans, especially when I have to work with the dogs, because the dogs are my passion.
You as a team need to sit down and talk about what's important to you. You know, Where can you serve in your community?
Oh, we help out the community all the time. We're at assisted livings, nursing homes, putting a smile on these people's faces.
What can you find that would really make a difference? And bingo, that's your charity.
Make a difference and dance for a cause that matters. Do you charge money for your performances? How does that work?
There's a variety of ways that the Calendar Girls collect donations. We get sponsorships. We just get generous donations just from talking to people. They're very good with that. We do a lot of performances where we pass the tip jar. We perform at the Cape Coral Farmers Market, once a month, and we pass the jar around and we collect our money.
We ask for sponsorships for our calendar, our annual calendar every year, and those that fill out a sponsorship form, they get their name on our calendar.
We've had people write checks for us. We actually did a pancake fundraiser at Applebee's. They like to support nonprofits, and there was a gentleman there who came, paid his $10 for the pancakes, and he left a check when he left for $1,000. Left it totally anonymous. He did not want us to know his name or where that came from. And he came to 2 different fundraisers and 2 different times left checks for $1,000 each. That really means something to us. So we touched someone's heart through pancakes. There are places that will write us a check and say, do not pass the tip jar, we're going to pay you X. I don't know what X is, and you really don't want to have that in your mind when you're a calendar girl, because the idea is you're going there to dance. Whether they're paying you $1 or $10,000, they're going to get the same show. They're going to be treated exactly the same way, the same love, we're going to bring them the same joy. People get what we do. It's amazing. And when they meet the puppies and they hear and they see the puppies and they start seeing what we're doing, it's amazing how wallets will open up and flow. That's how we were able to sponsor 30 guide dogs.
You will find generous people eager to support your mission. So how would you prepare for a single performance?
What goes into putting on a single performance?
That starts a month in advance. We get our schedules a good month in advance with all of our costumes. So the first thing you have to do, look in your closet, make sure you have all of the pieces. If you don't have the pieces, then you've got to start looking for them. And then we have to decide, do I want to wear a black wig? Do I want to wear a red wig? Do I need something?
We did our regular songs, we talked about our charity, we had some sing-alongs, we had some extra at that point, and that was a show.
So after we put that all together, we do report and say, well, I plan to do these shows. It's nice to have a core of who's going to be there so we know how to plan our routines and things. About a week before the shows, I usually lay out my costumes. Again, I want to make sure that I have everything there. Make sure I have all my makeup in place and all that kind of good stuff. And of course, you're practicing your routines all the time.
Now we have so much material and we have such a wealth of experience that it's much easier now to put on a show. The hard part is narrowing it down to 1 hour or 45 minutes or whatever the customer wants.
You want to make sure you're fresh, you have everything, you have equipment, we have props that we use in different performances like umbrellas and canes and pom-poms. Oh yes, we have lots of fun. So you want to make sure you've got all that, make sure it's in your car, ready to go so you don't have it, The day of the show, make sure you have enough time because you have to put all of your makeup on and look great. You've got to put all your costuming pieces on, getting sure all of the undergarments and the restorative hardware is on, all that good stuff. Put that together. We like to show up early.
So in the beginning, I think putting on a show is a challenge, but as the years go by and you have this wealth of experience and material, it just becomes easier and easier.
Remember, performances are live events and things will happen. What are some ways that you promote the Calendar Girls?
We promote the Calendar Girls by word of mouth, by social media. Initially, we were always in a newspaper in hard copy.
You don't want to spend a lot of money marketing yourself, again, because we're charity driven with that. We do invest money in our postcards and our calendars. That's a very inexpensive way to market.
We decided early on that our money would go towards guide dogs for veterans. And therefore, we don't really have a budget to advertise on social media or buy an ad.
How do you use social media to promote the Calendar Girls?
That's really what we try to do on social media. We will go out and we will each repost pictures and events that are going on. Catherine writes great scripts and dialogue about what's been going on at different events.
As an example for somebody trying to start a team out, I would say, this is an event. You're all welcome. It's this day and this time. Wear something comfortable. We're going to dance and have some fun. So I'm putting it out there to the universe. This is happening and you're welcome.
We don't really go out and take ads and spend money on it. You just encourage them to share that. Our public page has been great, and then if you think about it, there's 30 girls with usually 30 Facebook pages. So we're talking about that, and then someone sees us and then they'll repost it. So that works really well. I have my own Instagram page and things like that, so I'll post and say, hey, wow, I just had a great time Wednesday afternoon, and we were at the Mango Festival, and we got to share, all the stuff going on there. That picks up and it goes on from there.
I think social media and just word of mouth are our best advertisement, but I also feel we put out such a fun, surprisingly good product that people talk about us.
We do benefit from those kind of things because then they'll put us in their programs. Oh, the Calendar Girls are performing here and the Calendar Girls are performing there. So that keeps on going. And then if we can get free publicity, especially like with Southeastern Guide Dogs, we will constantly send press releases to all the different medias. So Wink News will call us up and say, hey, can you girls, bring a puppy raiser, come and talk about what you do.
We just find out through our Facebook page and our team Facebook page and creating events that it gets out there wherever we are, and every place we've ever performed we've put on social media. So people know before we go to an event, and then they know the follow-up afterwards because we put pictures of the event. So that helps people see that you can advertise in a very economical way.
Use social media to promote yourself for free. Facebook groups are free, and they will make your message go further. How do dance teams structure their organization?
When you're first starting to organize yourself as a team, you want to find your name. Do you want to trademark your name? Do you not want to trademark your name? You want to make those kind of decisions.
The Calendar Girls started out with a board of directors.
So it may be a governing group within your group. You may have a president and a treasurer and a secretary. Make those kind of decisions as you're putting your group together.
Just more a nucleus of maybe 4 of us, not officially a board of directors. But if you're collecting funds, somebody on your team needs to be accountable for that.
You're also going to need to set up a checking account, have some financial accountability, and then decide whether it's in the United States or in another country, how they treat you financially from a tax standpoint. So in the United States, you can be a 501(c)(3), you could be a nonprofit organization.
It depends if you register as a not-for-profit or you're just a group of people with a charity.
Go and find a tax accountant or an attorney, someone who knows finances, and sit down and say, hey, help us out here, we're trying to put this together. And usually they will do it for free. That's the idea, but if they don't, you might have to write a little check to get started. But I think once you have to do that groundwork first, get all of those kinds of things set in place. Because before we were talking about insurance and copyrights and all that. Who's going to write the checks? How are we going to pay for that? And are you going to have some seed money to get started?
You can set it up as a formal business and be incorporated, or you don't have to do that. So it depends on how you want to structure your dance team.
Many people who start a charitable dance team do not register as a nonprofit. Businesses and venues that book dance troupes to perform can write it off as a business expense.
So your dance team knows 20 songs and the newcomer knows nothing. And that's a very overwhelming situation for that new girl.
How long would you say the training process is for a new dancer?
We all went on a probationary period of 3 months, 90 days. We all wore black. We didn't get our costumes. You have to earn your costumes. So it took me about 3 months before I was able to actually perform.
They get their costume unit, and that is a big deal, that they've learned 6 songs either with help or on their own, and then they get this wonderful unit of costumes, and it's quite lovely, and it's just amazing to earn that. So that newcomer is motivated to learn the first 6 songs to get the outfit.
You have to really work hard. Today, the girls have to do a minimum of 6 dances, and they have to be approved for those dances.
It's a challenge for me because I never been dancer before. Even now, I have to learn every dance, and it's a challenge every day, but I do it.
So we start her out and tell her, let's learn 1 song and don't try to learn 20. We're always working on a new piece. And so this week we're working on Ray Charles' Shake a Tail Feather. So the new girl knows she's going to learn it with the choreographer, and then we practice during the week. She's going to learn it, practice it with us, and then at home she's going to practice Shake a Tail Feather. So a newcomer is at such a disadvantage. You have to want this to know I've got 20 songs to learn, or whatever, however many songs they want to keep. So a new person, that's very, very overwhelming, and we try to give them a lot of individual love and time and encouragement, but start with 1.
And of course, exhibit sisterhood and camaraderie and all good spirits, because that's super important. Attitude is everything.
Would you think it is more important to have a good attitude or skill level as a dancer?
None of us are skilled dancers. We're all volunteers. None of us came from a professional background. Some of us were teachers, nurses, office workers. I'm a real estate broker. So we all came from that. So it was really the spirit, the sharing of your joy of dancing. I'm not the best dancer in the world, but I really love to smile and share what I'm doing with the audience, and that really just shows when I'm dancing.
Helping newcomers get on board quickly helps the team. Do the calendar girls buy their own costumes and props?
That's interesting, because some dance teams, the girls all pay for every single piece that they have. The calendar girls, while we're very fiscally conservative, we want to try to get as much money as we can for our dogs, we have a lot of pieces that are part of the calendar girls' uniform.
So there are days that are creatively you're doing your own thing, and there are days where we're wearing a uniform. I think when you start out, start with 1 outfit, make it really simple. It's something that every woman has in her closet, which would be a black top and black pants, black shoes, and a colorful sash. That's where we started.
We're responsible for our own, like our shoes and our basic black things. We have special brand of pantyhose that we use. We have special brand of lipstick that we use. The girls are responsible for those kind of things. But all the other costumes are part of the calendar girls' outfits.
And then things were donated, or we wore the all black, and we had all different colored sashes. So one day we'd wear lime green, and one day purple. We wear sparkly earrings. You don't have to have a lot to get started. You just have to have the will to strive and succeed. So costumes, the same audience doesn't see you every day. The costumes can be very simple, and then people will donate, and you will find girls that like to hot glue and sew. And so you build your costume unit.
It's the team, and it doesn't matter who comes and who goes, it's the whole theme, and that's what we are. When 30 girls show up and we all look alike, oh my God, how exciting that is. Because I'll put on a costume and I'll look at it in the mirror and go, oh, that's not gonna work. And then you get together and there's 30 women in these costumes, oh my God, it just works and it lights up,
You guys definitely accent each other.
Oh my God, we're so lucky to have women that have those talents to see that and plan our costumes. So that's really nice. I don't have to plan what I'm gonna wear. I just look at the list, get the stuff, put it on.
So I would say put the least amount of money into costuming and sound system, and just work together to learn some songs.
Remember, it is not about expensive costumes. It is about the passion and creativity that you bring to the stage. Not everybody has experience with makeup. How do the calendar girls deal with makeup?
Our dance team in particular, you're expected to wear some eye makeup and red lipstick. And that's just from the Rockettes, it's just a glamorous thing.
Well, we all look at each other and help each other out from that aspect of it. Our coaches and Catherine, and that they always let us know if we've got the wrong colors. You know, you're, like we said, Rimmel, red lipstick. A lot of girls love to wear false eyelashes now. They've never done it in their life, but oh my God, that looks great from the stage.
And when you're wearing red lipstick and eye makeup, you show up to the audience better, and you show up in recordings and still photography better.
And it's always about looking good. Like you said, stage makeup, the lights just suck the life out of you. So you gotta overdo it. Our rule is, if it looks good, put another layer on, and then put another layer on. And then maybe you might be where you need to be.
Hair and makeup, though, are important. You don't wanna look like you just scrubbed the floor and you came to the show. You wanna look like you took some time to show your audience that you care enough, that you want to look like a professional, that you want to exude like you're a rockette, like you're a star. So you want to come there with a great presentation.
Yeah, it's amazing what YouTube can do though. We'll have, we'll say, oh, we have to look like cats. So go on YouTube, where can you find cat makeup and how to do it? And then you practice with that. So if girls are doing that, and also local makeup suppliers, you could go to Clinique, Mary Kay, those kinds of people can help you with a lot of the basics.
Make sure everyone is wearing the same primers, foundation, blush, color lipstick. Everyone should be uniform with what they put on their face. There's going to be a lot of sweating and moving around, so make sure that you wear waterproof mascara and eyeliner. Do you recommend working with a choreographer or making up your own routines?
The calendar girls have always believed that we need a professional choreographer.
We looked for a choreographer, and I think that's what you need to do, is find someone who gets it, who kind of gets your story.
So from day one, we've had professional choreographers. We don't make up our own routines. Basically, we're amateurs.
We pay our choreographer for that. But again, we're not paying them a lot of money. It's a labor of love for them as well.
Our first choreographer had 20 years of dancing on Broadway and taught us so much. Our second choreographer lasted with us from 2008 until last week. Our new choreographer is younger and is bringing us something just different and fresh.
So you can find them high school teachers, drama teachers. There's dance academies and dance schools. And you never know, there might be some former dancer who is living and retired in your area, and they may just be looking to share their talents. So that's a really good way to get started from there.
So we strongly believe that you shouldn't make up your own routines, that you should have somebody independent, a professional dancer, come in and choreograph for you. I think it's one of the secrets to our success is we've done that. And you will be surprised, in your town, anywhere in the world, there are professional dancers who will offer their time to choreograph for you.
Working with professional choreographers elevates your team. So is there a code of conduct, or is it just kind of a golden rule between sisterhood?
Yes and yes. There is a code of conduct, but we all know that you need to be polite. You need to be kind.
I just think that basic rule is to treat others as you want to be treated, and that goes for a dance team.
You never know where your publicity is going to come from, good or bad. So when you're a calendar girl, even when you're not in costume, you're always a calendar girl. So we want to be on good behavior. You don't want to be cursing, and you don't want to be getting drunk or being disorderly, being disrespectful. It's very important, because people will recognize you even out of costume. And if you're doing good things, that spreads the word. If you're doing something bad, that spreads twice as fast.
Some of the rules that keep us all in line. First of all, the rules must be fair and consistent. Even a first grader knows when things aren't fair and consistent. So everyone is wearing the same costume. And we look at the military or a professional sports team. They're wearing the same uniform because it creates a sense of unity. It creates a sense of we all belong because we have on pink tutus. You have to initially create that as your standard, that we're wearing this costume, we earn this costume, we feel good as a team in this costume. It's important that people show up on time. Nothing on our team is mandatory, but when we do have a practice or a performance and you're to be there at a certain time, that's important. It's important as a team that we interact with our audience, that we show them our charity, that we're sponsoring guide dogs for veterans. That gives us credibility that we're not just a bunch of gals out there dancing.
Above all else, be kind. You don't know what that person sitting next to you, across from you, in the audience is going through. You never know who you're going to hit. You know, we'll be out dancing and all of a sudden someone will just start sobbing in the audience. We don't know whether that's good or bad, but whatever we've done has affected them emotionally. And that's a good, at the end of the day, it's a good thing.
Absolutely. I think that is a good lesson for the calendar girls as well as people, just to be a better, kinder person.
That's it exactly.
Set clear expectations on behavior and respect. How important is socializing with your team outside of dancing?
So we need some extra time that's social and has nothing to do with dance. I think any team that sweats together and spends hours practicing together, I think that team needs some time off. They need some social time, some downtime, some time just to be girls.
I love the camaraderie. I love the girls. We are silly. We have fun.
Through the years, we've had a good camaraderie with all the ladies. We've had friendships. We celebrate birthdays. We laugh together. We cry together.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm the one who always gets in trouble. We have a group of Air Force veterans that have a fantastic party every single year. I mean, and they are just wild. And I've been known to do several little things. So at that particular little party, I'm the one who stands on chairs and, you know, really waves around and does a few little hoochie coochie things because it's all about raising money for our veterans and our dogs for Southeastern. So we've been known to do that. I'm training a couple of other girls so they can take over. I don't do tables. Bar tops, but no tables.
So we often get together for meals or parties or outings. We might go to a park. I encourage that because it's hard work being on a dance team and you just need some time to get to know each other.
We do things like that. We've met people out in the street, you know, and they said, "What the heck are you girls doing in your costumes?" So we get a chance to do a little song and dance for them sometimes for a few seconds and tell them our story. And obviously it's all about collecting money. And see, this is the Bank of the Rocky Mountains. Yes, deposits 24 hours a day, no withdrawals.
Every woman on the team comes from a different background, a different state, a different career. Some are grandmothers, some are widows. And so it's important to get to know each other.
So when I started with the Calendar Girls 12 years ago, I was in a rather unique situation where I was recently widowed. I found that the Calendar Girl team not only lifted me up and was a great support system for me, but they also reached out on an individual basis, checked in on me, invited me out, let's go out and have dinner.
And when you're practicing, there's not a lot of time just to say, where are you from? And once you identify with your team, it's hard to just not think about it.
Hanging out socially helps communication within the team. So what qualities should one have to be successful on a dance team?
I think to be successful on this team, it's the same as any team on the planet. You need to bring energy. You need to bring positive energy.
You have to be a group player, a team player. You have to care about other people, and you have to care about the cause.
Dance is very physical, just like football. So you need to have the expectation of this is going to be hard physically. I am going to sweat. And it's going to be a real challenge to me physically. But even more important than your cardiovascular strength, I think it's your attitude.
Because it's not about you. When you're joining a group, it's a group. It's not a me. That, I think, is one of the biggest things. You have to care about each other. You have to be willing to put yourself aside to make someone else grow, to make someone else look good.
What you bring to the team is just positive joy for what we're doing.
You know, if someone can move up and have a solo, oh my gosh, you know, they're going to get so excited. And you never know what that's doing for them.
No negativity, no, she looked at me or she hurt my feelings. You just learn the dances, stay positive, be kind.
You have to be somewhat organized, whether you're naturally organized or you have a book that you write things down in. You know, as you get older, sometimes you need those little sticky notes. Are just really, really, really wonderful kind of things. And look and make sure that you have the time to commit. Commitment is super, super important. Dedication, loyalty is very important, and it's to the team. It's not, and you also have to know how to keep your mouth shut. You have to know when to share things and when not to share things.
There's no reason to be unkind. So if you want to be on this team, try hard and be nice.
Be committed, show up on time, and give it your best effort. What mistakes should a new team avoid?
Well, I came into it 3 years, so I was really lucky. They had already worked out a few of those things, but things keep changing as we go. Equipment can break. And then, oh my gosh, we're in the middle of a performance. What do you do? How do you get around that? We had that happen just recently. We were performing and the music stopped in the middle of a thing. We just kept on going and we kind of picked up the song and da 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 da.
Mistakes I hope you avoid. First of all, you need to have your costume pinned onto your body because you don't want to be dancing and lose your skirt or your wig or your hat. So when you get ready to perform, everything needs to be on you and stay on you because dance is rigorous.
You know, have 2 boas just in case. Make sure you've got scotch tape and safety pins because things break, you know, wardrobe malfunctions. How do we fix it? So you have to kind of think and prepare.
We've had hats fly off and wigs fly off and skirts fly down. So it's very important that everything is adhered to your body. It's shocking how many layers a dancer might have on, and all of that could be safety pinned or taped together. And I'll never forget seeing a wig. So the whole song, we didn't even know who lost her hairpiece, but there it was. And so keep your stuff attached to your body. Your costume falling off because it's not pinned onto you. All of your stuff. And the same thing will happen with your lipstick and your eye makeup. You're sweating and it's rolling off your face.
But you never know, things can happen. So that's part of it, is being prepared. Be ready.
Always pack an emergency kit. Having it all in one place could save the day. Where should dance teams start when it comes to promotion?
Well, first you have to be successful out there dancing. So you've got to start small. And like I said, we started at assisted livings. We danced wherever they would let us dance. That also allowed us to build up confidence and more credibility. You have to have that first before you can start marketing and getting yourself out there, because if you start that too early and you don't have the product to do it, it's just going to be the end of the team. So get together, do your practice. Get your dancing routines down first. You don't have to have 20 dances. Start with good 4, 5, 6. You know, don't think you have to go in for a show of half an hour or 30 minutes. You need a good 15 solid minutes. If you can do that, then you can get started from there, and that's how you start getting noticed.
Over the years, we've contacted every radio, TV, newspaper, social media, online.
If you can go to big events, like here we have the Edison Festival of Lights. That's a nice big open air festival. They're always looking for free performers, right? So you contact them and say, hey, can we come and perform?
We've made an effort to contact people to promote what we're doing. We've gone out in our cars and dropped off free performance leaflets everywhere to get people to hire us. So the more you can promote yourself, the more calls you can put out there, somebody's gonna bite.
When it's an event like that, it's always covered by radio, by TV, by the newspapers and social media people. They'll start picking up your story.
Drew Barrymore noticed us, and that was a coup. And locally, the local news and radio and newspaper and news channels have been very good to us.
We haven't had an influencer yet, but we're hoping we could be an influencer. I think that's a real key for our future, and we're starting to dabble into it. And that's the whole thing. You have to keep reinventing yourselves as we go. When we first started in 2006, our costumes were like black jazz shorts, black thing, and maybe a red belt or something, woohoo, and now we're full blown. But you have to constantly evolve, change your stories, change how you do your performances. We have different types of stories that we tell. We've now added in songs and things like that. So you got to keep it fresh.
Use social media platforms to connect with your audience. Reach out to local radio and newspapers for coverage. You can also try the local news. What are some of the reasons people have left the team?
We're creating an entity. It's that team. So those parts are going to change. People are going to come in, people are going to come out for all different kinds of reasons. Life changes. Some people just get tired, and maybe I don't want to dance anymore. Maybe I want to be a world-class equestrian. And so they do those kinds of things.
First of all, they leave because it's too much work.
I think that's probably the biggest thing. Some people don't realize the amount of time that it takes too. There's a huge amount of commitment, and some girls have had maybe not the support in their households as well. You really have to have a good group of support around you. Those things can make it difficult. They don't play well with others. I think that's probably, or they're mean-spirited. You have to really understand that we're all volunteers. We're giving of our time, so please be respectful of that.
Occasionally, women will have creative differences. They won't want to be part of a team. They won't want to follow rules or the structure of a team. And they will leave just because of creative differences.
Even after you leave, you're always a calendar girl. It's like a sorority. You're there forever. I think the average time is about 3 years for calendar girls. But again, I've been there almost 14 years. And it's amazing. We look around and go, oh my God, you've been there 8 years? Oh my God, and life gets in the way. We recently had one gal leave because she decided to move out of the area. She's going on to a different chapter in her life, and we wish her all the best. And now we have a place to go stay when we go to another state.
People have often asked how I can spend all of my leisure time as a volunteer organizing the Calendar Girls. And I will admit selfishly that I like to perform. I like to do things for veterans. I like being on a team of women that's inspiring. So I've donated, since I retired from 35 years of teaching, I've donated all my leisure time to organizing this team of women because I enjoy it. So it's not just like I'm reaching out and doing something good for everyone else. I am, but it's a personal thing. I enjoy it.
Not everybody on the dance team needs to put in 40 to 60 hours a week. Some roles on a dance team require less or more time. How much time does each person volunteer for the Calendar Girls?
Well, that's a good question. How many hours do we each put in? And I can really tell who practices at home. That's important. Many of the women on the team still work full-time. So they don't have the opportunity just to practice all day. Many of the women come home at night and they're caring for grandchildren, children, a spouse. So they don't have as much time as somebody who doesn't have all that responsibility at home.
And your family, your support team around you has to buy into it as well. Because we spend a lot of time together and we go out and we spend a lot of time performing. So you have to make sure that your spouse or your partner, your kids, your cat, that they're going to be okay with you going out there and doing this. When I first started, my sons were so embarrassed. Oh my God, Mom, you're wearing a tutu. You've got a boa. Grandmas don't do that kind of thing. They were just mortified. And I said, well, welcome to the wonderful world of Hoochie Grandma. And now they are so proud of what I do. And my grandchildren, my Grammy is a calendar girl.
So it would depend on your work week, and if you're a caregiver, how much time you have to work on Calendar Girl. Basically, when we get together for our huge rehearsal on Sunday, we review everything. The Calendar Girls practice now 3 days a week. Nothing is mandatory, but the one big practice, which we have on Sunday, it's not mandatory, but that's when our choreographer comes. And it's so good to learn from a professional. The more you review it, the better you're going to know it. And it's much easier to practice with your sisters, with your teammates, than at home by yourself with your phone practicing the video. So we offer 3. And then some of us just get with a friend and practice, so that's 4.
Forming a dance team is very rewarding, but it requires a serious time commitment. What kind of volunteer positions do people do for the Calendar Girls who don't involve dancing?
Sometimes doing media and things like that. My assistant actually helps us with our music. She's helped us with our TikTok, which is great. Husbands are really, really good to help lift and move things around. If we're in the parade, they might have a truck and they can help us decorate it. Some people like to just bring us food and drinks at different performances. There's always a little something else you can do. So, one girl who isn't dancing with us any longer, she helps our costumes. She hand paints and designs beautiful pieces for us, so she's still able to contribute. Not everyone has the ability to dance, and they might figure that out, but they don't want to give up. They don't want to give the camaraderie up, so they can help spread the word.
We have a great group. Everyone helps out, everyone pitches in. We all have a little bit of an assignment that we take care of.
When we look for building our support team, we always try to find it word of mouth from people that we know and that we trust. When you start putting it out in the world, you never know who's going to be an opportunist. And you want to be really careful that they are aligned with your beliefs. They're aligned with your mission. So we're very, very careful of that. Even with the people who are in our dance team. Do you believe in our cause? Do you believe and trust each other? When you're dancing and you're really close, you've got to trust the person who's beside of you. So that is really super important. So every person in our team has to be trustworthy.
Can you tell me a little bit about positioning, from the back row to the front row? How does that work?
And sometimes we go like this, and sometimes we go like this. Depends on how the choreographer likes to place us and do the dances. When I started, you moved all over the place, so we've evolved as our skills go, that kind of thing. Everybody has the opportunity to give and to help. So there's no hierarchy, if you will, no divas. There's no room for divas. I mean, we're all, when you've got 30 women, oh my gosh, it's all about working together. So whether you're in the 3rd row, the 2nd row, the 1st row, the 4th row, whether you're playing the music or whether you're out passing the tip jar, every single job is important. We can't function without all of those little pieces. So there's no job that's more important than the other.
That's wonderful. So would you say that you have one person that is in charge of keeping track of everything?
We have a whole group of volunteers. Everyone has different skills, so we all try to contribute in our own ways. Catherine plans and designs our outfits. We have another gal who actually God bless her, she takes care of the closet. So she knows how many red hats we have, how many sequin tops we have, and then she coordinates keeping that all together, making sure that it's returned nice and clean, and if she has to fix that, then she does all that.
There are many roles on dance teams that do not require dancing. What barriers would stop new dance teams from succeeding?
The only barriers that a new dance team would have would be ones that they put themselves in mentally. If you believe you can do it, you can do it.
Some days I don't know how we're so successful, but most days I feel like we work a little bit harder.
It's not going to be easy. Nothing that's worth it is easy.
I know there are teams all over the United States that question when we went to the film festivals, how did you get picked? Why was it you and not us?
Get those people who care around you and put that together. If you don't have the support and you don't do the planning, those are the things that will cause you to fail.
Of course, we were in the right place at the right time when the Swedish filmmakers discovered us and wanted to do a documentary. But I think if you just keep working and working, good things will come back to you. You gotta put it out there, and we perform 200 days a year as volunteers. That's a lot. We practice 100 days a year, and I don't think too many teams do that. So just by the sheer volume of our work ethic, we have been noticed and we have reaped many rewards. You might say we earned them.
My name is William Ulrich, and I'm director of this film. And I have a few comments I want to make about the film. I'm very proud of this film. It's a film designed to do good in the world. In fact, I think this film will probably do more good than any other film ever produced right now. The goal of the film is to get dance teams to communicate throughout the world and create new dance teams to do good. We plan on using these videos on a site called danceforcharity.world, a social media site where all the dance teams can communicate and how they can have better routines and be more efficient in raising money and doing good in the world. I'm really excited about a new project that we already started actually. It's called World Leaders for Good. And we are looking at people that have done 10 years or more helping people in the world. These people deserve to be recognized. So this site will recognize them. They can videotape themselves, tell them what they've done, how they feel about it, and what they're doing in their lives to make it a better world. I'm looking for partners that are very wealthy. I don't want to burden people that don't have the funds to do this. We want to be able to create many more programs in the world like this. So we're looking for people that want to make change in the world for whatever reason. If you want to make a difference, give me a call and we'll talk.